It's summertime, and that means it's time to go topless. But which is the best? The new Ford Bronco, the 2024 Wildtrak, or the new 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon? We are going to have them battle it out and see which one you should choose when you are choosing a vehicle to go topless in. Off-roading, on-road, driving around town, which is going to be the better choice? We're going to compare these two. We're going to look at the features and some of the numbers and see which one would be the best for you, just like you can do here at Melloy Auto Group in Los Lunas, where we've got Melloy Jeep, Melloy Chevrolet, and Melloy Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Ford. There's a bunch. But you can compare vehicles side by side and decide which is best for you. But we're going to do that now. We're going to compare this Wrangler Rubicon with this brand new Bronco and figure out which one's the best. Coming up next on Melloy TV. So today we are comparing the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon with the Ford Bronco full-size Wildtrak Edition, both 2024 models. And let's just take a look at some of the numbers. So we're not going to go through all of the numbers. We're not going to go through departure angles and everything like that. But we are just going to look at some basic numbers that if you were shopping for a vehicle, you'd probably want to consider. Then we're going to dive into some of the features on each vehicle and maybe some of the advantages that one may have over the other. And then we're going to try and make a decision. What would be the best overall? So we are going to do that right now on Melloy TV. So we are going to start out by just looking at, I've got window stickers for both of them. So we're going to start out with the Ford Bronco. With the Ford Bronco, as this one sits, this is a Wildtrak Edition 2024, four-door, four-wheel drive. This has the 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6 engine, 10-speed auto transmission. This one is in race red. So that's this one that we're looking at now. There's some additional features that this one has added to it. It has the hard top. It's got the tube steps. Oh, it's got body side graphics that says Wildtrak on it. It's pretty good. The brush guard up front and upgraded floor mats. MSRP on this vehicle today is $69,420. And on the Wrangler, I guess I should stand in front of the, here, let's flip around. We'll stand in front of the Wrangler. If I just stood in front of the Bronco, my Ford guys would say I was being biased. So this is a 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4x4 Rubicon, Unlimited Edition, so it's 4 doors. Some of the features that are added on this has the 8-speed automatic transmission, which is an add. It's got the hardtop, 3-piece hardtop add on there. And MSRP on this one is $59,980. This is equipped with the 3.6 liter V6 engine and the automatic transmission. So you can start there. Pretty close price-wise, and you can obviously equip each of these vehicles differently for a different price range. But for today's lesson, we're going to compare these two. So pretty close price-wise, but what makes them tick? Well, let's look. Let's look and see what makes these things tick. First, you've got the 3.6 liter on the Wrangler. So the 3.6 liter is a V6 engine. It has 285 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. On the Bronco, which is over there, see? Bronco. Over there. On the Bronco, it has the 2.7 liter EcoBoost engine that produces 330 horsepower and 415 foot-pound of torque. So obviously about 50 more horsepower on the Bronco and about 150 additional foot-pounds of torque. Both of them are equipped with heavy-duty suspension systems. They've got upgraded suspension systems. The Bronco has the, with the Wildtrak edition, has a Dana axle, as well as the Wrangler. So very, very similar as far as the heavy-duty part of their suspensions. So that's pretty comparable. Let's look and see. I think we're going to look at the wheels. So a little bit on the Bronco. These are 315 7017s. On the Wrangler, 285 17s. So a little bit beefier tire on the Bronco. And on the Wildtrak edition, this has the beadlock wheels. Can you see the beadlock wheels? There you go. I'll get out of the way. Beadlock wheels right there. So when we're talking about suspensions, pretty similar, but that's kind of where the similarities end. Let's look inside these things and see the differences between them. What do you think? All right, welcome to the 2024 Ford Bronco Wildtrak. We're going to take a look at the exterior and then interior features of this thing and try and see if we can make some sense out of which you should choose, the Jeep Wrangler or this bad boy. This is a Wildtrak edition. We will do the full walk around. Got your spare tire mounted here. You got your recovery hooks. And there's the other side, just so that you can say you saw both sides. But this is a beautiful vehicle. Ford, obviously, with the way that they did that front grille, the way that they designed this thing, really, really pretty. So as we look inside, we're going to start here at the door, because that's where you get in them. And one of the first things that you notice is that the mirror is attached to the body, not the door. So if you did decide to take the doors off and wanted to ride around with your doors off and your top off, you could do that. I don't know that you'll get arrested or not. Let's see. So to do that, it's pretty simple. 2 bolts, and then there's a wiring harness that you have to unclip there. But here's the interior of the Ford Bronco. And we'll get in and look at some of these features, but this one's got these fancy seats. And there's the top. And in the back there. So here, let's jump in this bad boy and take a look at it, huh? First of all, the first thing you notice, I mean, when you're looking between these two, is that this the floor's a little bit higher on this than the Wrangler. So when you get in, it's a little step up, but it's very comfortable when you get in here. We are looking at, here we'll close this door, and maybe we'll even start it up. It's got the push button start. There's your Ford Bronco, and then you get your normal Ford infotainment system. You've got, again, all the normal stuff that everybody's used to. Navigation. This has got features. You've got apps like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Normal stuff. Serious. Oh, here we have to turn that down here. We've got Sirius radio, and then you've got your screen here, which you can configure how you want. You've got some off-roading buttons here for locking your differential and those kind of things. Down here, you've got your gear shift. You've got your what is it? Go over all terrain. I think that's it. GOAT modes. So you've got 2 high, you've got 4 low, 4 high, 4 automatic. So you can change your 4-wheel drive system here. Climate controls right there. You've got some auxiliary switches, which is nice the way they've got that set up. So that's pretty cool. You've got a home link system there. You got some sun visors, and then you got a oh goodness handle right there. I don't think that's what you really call it, but this is you've got quite a few things that are going on here. You can kind of configure that. Powered door locks. Yeah, it's pretty nice. And if you were a passenger, this is what you would see. If you were riding with me, here's what you would see right there. So anyway, overall pretty nice. I mean, you got the handles here. I mean, it's built for off-road. One of the cool things they've got, you've got a power connection up here for USB. So if, like, let's say you wanted to mount a GoPro right there, you could do that. You could mount your GoPro, and they've actually got a place for you to hook that up. Let's look in the back seat. What do you think? All right, so if you've got friends, you can put them back here in the back seat. And if you don't have friends, well, I understand that. That's okay. You can put stuff back here. But let's see what kind of room they got back here. Okay, so we're going to get in this back seat. Let's see. So there's the room back here. Oh, there we go. So, I mean, it's not cavernous, but pretty good room. I mean, this seat is kind of back a little bit, and still have room back here. Not too bad. What do we got down here? We got some controls. You've got some power buttons. There's that. There's a seat right there. Yeah, so if you're riding in the back seat, this is what you would see, or you could see the back of this headrest. Now, if you were riding in the back seat, that's kind of the view of the front dash. But this isn't bad. Yeah, it's pretty good. One thing, this has got side airbag curtains along here, which is nice. Yeah, side airbags on the seats. It's pretty good. Here we'll look in the back, in the way back. Let's go look in the way back. All right, so here is the back end of the Ford Bronco, and we're gonna open this up. You know, pretty familiar to everybody that's had a Jeep. Kind of a familiar swing door there. This lifts up. Now, I will tell you one thing that I have not done is taken the top off of one of these things. I've taken them off the Wranglers because I've owned several, so I don't know how this is, but it looks pretty similar. I mean, you've got your bolts there. You know, one thing this does have right up here, right there, is a bottle opener. So right here, you can put your bottle right there and you can open it. You know, if you've got your cola bottle or some other kind of bottle. But it looks like those seats fold up, so you've got a lot of room back here. I mean, this is a lot of room. This comes with, ooh, look, little horsies on your little Broncos on your floor mats. Pretty freaking fancy. 12 volt right there. It's pretty good. So that is the interior features of this thing. I mean, overall, you can see, and I don't know if you can see the two, but this is going to sit up a little bit higher than the Wrangler. Like I said, the floor's a little bit higher than what you find on the Wrangler. It just sits up a little bit more. But overall, a beautiful vehicle. And you know, as far as like the features, this has got the Dana axles, and um, so a lot of the same off-roading features. And we are not going off-roading with this thing. That's going to be a different video, but this is just kind of taking a look. If you were to walk in here and want to take a look and see, well, which one do I want to buy? Just on a visual basis, we're going to take a look at this thing. So next on Melloy TV, we're going to flip over to the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon and see what this bad boy's about. Coming up next. All right, the Jeep Rubicon Wrangler. Now the Rubicons, you know, typically have that red stitching. They've got a lot of that. You'll see. So this is one of the updates that they've done, is the infotainment system inside. And we'll get back to the back here in a minute. Of course, you got your easy to remove roof. Come on, jump up. All right. So, Jeep steering wheel. When you go from the Bronco to the Wrangler and you jump in, we're having a diesel truck race outside here. Sorry. When you go like actually sit, and you're sitting there, and then you come over here, the Wrangler feels a little bit more compact. And we'll start this thing up. Maybe it'll be quieter than my boys are being outside there. All right, so again, everything pretty standard. You know, typical stuff. Cruise control. You've got cruise control. This has the adaptive cruise control. This is an automatic. You've got the familiar Jeep shifter, 2 high, 4 high, neutral, and 4 low. You've got the front and rear sway bar disconnect. You've got auxiliary buttons like we're on the Bronco, but they're down here. You've got your climate control, and then your Uconnect system. So Ford's got sync, this has got Uconnect, and again, similar. I mean, you've got everything, Sirius and USB, you've got off-road pages and rear view cameras and everything. The off-road pages are pretty cool. It gives you the steering angle, it gives you the pitch and the roll, so you can see if you're going to tip over like that. But yeah, you know, pretty familiar. If you've been in one, you know what they are. Having driven both, and truth be told, I've owned, I don't know, I've owned quite a few Wranglers. And so, you know, if you've been in that situation, you've owned a Wrangler, you know how they are. You know, this body style has a much smoother ride than a lot of the older ones, but you know, it's still a Jeep, and ride to ride, you know, the Bronco has a pretty nice highway ride, as does the Wrangler. I mean, I've driven the Wranglers for years, but something to consider. And like I said, just it's a little bit more confined. I don't know if confined is the right word, but there's a little bit, you feel like there's a little bit less space. Plenty of headroom, but I don't know, just when you sit in both of them. But it depends on what you like. I mean, you know, like I said, it's a lot of this comes down to really what you like, but you can see out the front. And of course, you know, this glass, if you wanted to roll this down and take the doors off, everybody's seen Jeeps with the doors off. So you can do that as well. But let's take a look in the back. Let's compare that back room. All right, so again, if you've got friends, they're going to be able to get in the back here. And so there's the back view. And a little bit different, you know, you've got the sound bar up here, so you've got your speakers up here. So if you've got the roof off all the way, you've still got your speakers here. I think the Bronco back speakers are in the door. But if we look at the room in the back seat, not too bad. You know, it's pretty good. The seats in the back, if I was to judge them, I might give the rear seat to the Bronco. It's the seats. These seats are good, but they're kind of straight up and down. The ones in the Bronco have maybe a little more contour to them and a little bit more comfortable. But normal stuff. USB ports there in the back. You've got some AC vents here. You've got the sound bar there. And let's look in the way back, huh? All right, and here is Wrangler. And again, pretty familiar. I mean, there's that back door that if you've been around them, that you're used to. Now this folds down. You've got some wrapping there. You've got your holder. So if you take your tops off, if you just take the front tops off, they go neatly in that bag there. And you can see the roll bar, just a little bit different. I mean, this structure is a lot different because like if in the Bronco, I mean, the C-pillar was way back here, a little bit different looking, so that when you do take the tops off, you'll get that different look, but pretty familiar. So that is the back end of the Wrangler. And again, if you're comparing, I don't know, let's go see. I think there's a little more room back here. I mean, the space that you've got from here to there on the Bronco, yeah, it looks like a little more space. Because you got here, this is my scientific measurement, here to there. Just it's a little bit more, got a little bit more room. But overall, I mean, what can you say about the Wrangler? Can't go wrong. So what do you think? Which one's going to be the best for you? Let's talk about it right after this. So what do you think? Which one are you going to go topless in? I mean, like I've said, I've owned several Wranglers, more than a several. And, the Bronco is a great contender. Overall, when you sit in it, feels a little more spacious. The highway drive may be a little bit better than the Wrangler. Horsepower wise, with the 2.7 EcoBoost on this vehicle, more horsepower, a little bit more torque. The Wrangler has, some unique features. Front windshields flipping down, the doors, even though you can take them off of the Bronco, I think a lot of people are more familiar with the doors coming off of the Wrangler. I know how the top is on the Wrangler. Like I said, I've never taken the top off on the full top off of the Bronco. But either one's, has its challenges, but fairly easy to do on the Wrangler. So a lot of it comes down to, what do you like? Do you like this new body style of the Bronco? Do you like, and Jeep people are Jeep people. They're always going to be looking at this Wrangler and saying that's the one. But I guess, it's hard for me because I work here at Melloy, and I work in all three stores. It's hard for me to say, oh yeah, one's hugely better. But, the Bronco is a great contender to the Wrangler. So here's what I suggest. Come on down to Melloy in Los Lunas, drive this, drive that, see which one works the best for you. Because really that's what this is all about, is what do you like? Even though I might feel like this one has a little bit more room and has some features that I really like, If I was going to choose, you're going to put me on the spot, I'd probably pick the Wrangler. But that doesn't mean anything because it's what you want. And that's the beauty here at Melloy and Los Lunas. You can choose Ford, Chevrolet, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. You want to look at trucks. You want to get all three trucks. And, in fact, we did a video last week about comparing the Silverado, the F-150, and the Ram. I can put a link to it. I don't know which side it is, but we can put a link to that video. But that's the beauty of coming here. You can drive all three. You can see which one works the best for you. And that's really what this is all about. So I guess if I was gonna choose one just based on the specs, based on the numbers, based on kind of the way it feels, just being neutral, I'd probably go with the Bronco. So I'm gonna actually declare a winner this time. I never do this. I'm gonna say that in the battle of the off-road vehicles between the Wrangler and the Bronco, I'm gonna choose the Bronco. Now, if I was gonna come in and buy one, I might go this way. But what are you gonna do? Come on down. Let's take the tops off of these things, go for a drive, see what you think. And join us next time on Melloy TV when we're going to compare. I don't know what we're going to compare. I think next time we may be comparing some SUVs, maybe the Ford Edge and the Chevrolet Equinox, and maybe the Jeep Cherokee or the Grand Cherokee. But we're going to compare some vehicles. We could do the Expedition. We could do we could compare the Expedition and the Tahoe and the Grand Wagoneer. That's probably a good one. Join us next time. That's what we're going to do. We're going to pull out the Expedition, we'll pull out the Ford Tahoe, and we'll pull out the Grand Wagoneer, or the Wagoneer, whichever one we got. But join us next time on Melloy TV. This is Dennis. You can jump online and check these things out at MelloyLosLunas.com. I forgot our website. If you want to go specifically to the websites, MelloyFord.com, MelloyJeep.com, and even though they're not here, MelloyChevrolet.com, or just come down and see us on Interstate I-25 in New Mexico, just minutes south of Albuquerque. Exit 203 in Los Lunas. Easy to find, easy to deal with. This is Dennis from Melloy Auto Group in Los Lunas saying see you next time on Melloy TV.